Welcome back to Introduction to Computer Science at SSFS. In the last video we took a look at lists as a new structure in Python. And today we're going to look at how you can add information or remove information from a list. So to start out, I've created a list of devices, and these are Apple devices: iPod, iPad, iPhone, and iMac. So for example, we know that Apple has pretty much done away with the traditional iPod and they replaced it with the iPod Touch. So let's say I wanted to update this element. So what I could do is I could say devices, and I'm going to use my indexing system, so that's the 0th index, equals iPod Touch. And now if I do devices, it shows that that 0th index has been updated. So to replace an item, you can just assign a new value to that same index. Well, I noticed that my list doesn't include any actual laptop computer. So let's say I wanted to add the MacBook Air to this list. So I could say devices, and I'm going to use the function append, and you can see it's the first one that appears. And I'm just going to append MacBook Air to that list. And now if I look at devices, it shows that MacBook Air is added to the end of that list. If I also wanted to append the MacBook Pro, I could devices.append MacBook Pro, and I've added those two computers to that list. Well, let's say I didn't want to add MacBook Pro. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to remove MacBook Pro from the end of my list. Well, if I know the index, I can use the keyword delete. So I can delete devices, and I just need to put the index. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to delete that index. And now if I look at devices, MacBook Pro has gone. So if I want to add, I use append. If I want to remove something, I can use delete. Well, you can also use the remove function. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say I wanted to remove iPhone. So I can do devices.remove. And in this case, I don't have to know the index, but I have to know the value of what it is. So if I type in iPhone, now it's removed iPhone. So with delete, I need to know the index. With remove, I need to know the actual value of it. Another way to remove an item is to the function called pop. And what pop does, it's very similar to remove or delete, but it allows you to save the result to a variable. So for example, if I want to write obsolete equals devices.pop, and I'm going to use the 0 because very few people use an iPod Touch anymore. Now if I do devices, I notice that iPod Touch has been removed from that list, but now if I want to print the value of obsolete, its value is iPod Touch. So pop allows you to remove an element but save it to a variable, which can be pretty useful at certain points. So you've seen a variety of ways to modify a list in this video. You can either substitute it by addressing an index, you can append, or you can remove or delete items. Next time we'll talk about how to loop over a list.